Chapter 1. Understanding Emotional Intelligence. Life consists not in holding good cards, but in playing those you hold well. John Billings. A few years ago, I had a client who clearly was at the crisis stage in his life. He was on the verge of losing his job as a sales executive due to poor performance, and his marriage was experiencing turbulence. You could say John, not his real name, had hit rock bottom. Now, in the course of our discussions, there were basic questions I had to ask, added to the details he filled in his form. John is a bit reserved. You could say he is an introverted person, but he is also brilliant. However, at the end of our first discussion together, one thing became increasingly clear to me, and that is, one of John's problems was a low emotional intelligence level. Therefore, your social and relational skills are equally as important as your intellectual abilities. Since Daniel Goleman published his work on emotional intelligence in 1995, the subject has become even more relevant to today's society. Modern philosophers argue that we can achieve better work-life balance plus happiness once we can deal with our emotions and those of others around us too. No doubt, your emotion is the fulcrum of almost anything you will do or become in life. Your ability to identify, understand, and manage your emotions will, therefore, determine the extent you will become fulfilled in life. Now, once we can resolve the internal conflict revolving around knowing ourselves better, we can then learn and understand how to relate with others in a social system without creating emotional conflicts. We are at peace with ourselves to the degree that we have been able to resolve the internal and external forces at play in our lives. Don't forget that we are rational beings. According to the Harvard Business Review, emotional intelligence is the critical ingredient that sets almost 90% of high achievers apart in terms of technical knowledge. In other words, to achieve or become all the above features we have mentioned so far, we must relate as intelligent people. But that cannot be achieved fully without emotional intelligence as a necessity. What then is emotional intelligence? What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, EI, is also known as emotional quotient, EQ. It is your ability to decipher how your emotions work and recognize how to use them. In your understanding of how to use your emotions, the whole essence is to ensure your emotion produces positive outcomes in your life and those around you. Positive emotional intelligence will help you relate or communicate effectively, deal with temporal setbacks, resolve conflicts, and share in the feelings of others. Developing your emotional intelligence is the tool required for building a virile relationship and excel in your professional or personal goals. Emotional intelligence is the ability to make sense out of a seemingly nonsensical situation. It helps you understand or relate with your emotion, interpret, and then apply them to any situation. Emotional intelligence gives you the ability to manage stressful situations or come out of a logjam. The relevance of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence makes it possible to navigate the course of your life without feeling burnt out or frustrated. Depending only on your emotional or rational thinking abilities will only make your life distorted or imbalanced. However, your emotional abilities must work side by side with your intellectual side to keep your life in order. Thus, this is how and where emotional intelligence could be useful to you. Emotional intelligence helps you decide the right course of action, decide on the actions to take, and how to take the action. It helps you develop and decide the right skills to use in your personal and professional work relations. Emotional intelligence can help increase motivation and performance at work. It is an effective listening or communication tool. Leaders can better lead with sound emotional judgment, just as they do with intelligent quotient. You can lead a more fulfilled life with a balanced emotional strength. Your behavior and relational skill will not be complete without the right emotional tools at last. Emotional intelligence can help improve your constructive and rational ability, understanding, and managing biases. Effective leaders need emotional intelligence to lead and set the tone for organizational growth and sustenance. By mastering the art of emotional intelligence, you can better collaborate with teams and other colleagues, plus build a virile personal relationship. Technical skills alone cannot help you grow your network faster or longer. One of the main goals for emotional intelligence is to help you manage or relieve stress. If you find it hard to develop a virile emotional intelligence, then you are likely to lead a frustrating life due to stress. Stress will cause your health to deteriorate and lead to the risk of heart diseases, stroke, high blood pressure, accelerated aging, weakened immune system. If you want to maintain your mental balance or health, then you need emotional intelligence. I know, this point is similar to the above on stress, but I had to emphasize it again. Poor mental health, depression, and anxiety are a result of events that can cause stress in our lives. Therefore, if you find it hard to maintain emotional balance, it will reflect in your overall health at last. Loneliness and the feeling of being isolated can also sometimes result from a disturbed mind. Hence, you must learn how to reprogram your mind to cope with situations and become happier over time. You can better understand, control, and create stronger relationships built on emotional intelligence. You can work smarter and relate better when you are more emotionally sound. It helps you differentiate relationships and know where each relationship stands. 5 critical factors to becoming emotionally intelligent. It takes a lot to understand yourself enough to take advantage of your emotional strength for good. But once you can learn who you are and utilize it in resolving the internal and external issues of your life, then you achieve your personal and professional goals. The tools you need include self-awareness. Being self-aware involves having a clear understanding of your areas of strength and weaknesses. A person who is self-aware is someone who understands their feelings and how such feelings can interact and impact others when in a relationship or socializing. It is also an understanding of how your emotions can affect your thought processes, motives, or behavior. Being self-aware touches every aspect of your existence. Professionally, self-awareness can help you identify the critical emotions that will drive performance even in teamwork. A research paper by Tasha Eurich states that 95% assume they are self-aware. However, the study showed that only about 15% of people truly are self-aware. This low number accounts for why there is an increased conflict between people, as well as teams at work. Low self-awareness can also cause demotivation and frustration. The only way you can be happy or feel fulfilled in a relationship, you need to first discover yourself, then you can inspire others. But to do all of that, you need a reasonable level of emotional intelligence. Activity. You can do this simple activity to assess your level of self-awareness or behavior using the 360 degrees technique. Here's what to do. First, evaluate how you react or deal with a particular relationship or professional situation. See the evaluation process under How to Improve Self-Awareness. Next, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how well you think you perform under your chosen situation. Finally, get your friends, supervisor, or boss to respond to the same issue by also rating you on a scale of 1 to 10. Let them provide the reason for the chosen score of you. Now, you want to see how close or farther away from your performance or behavior as you have a document against those stated by your friends and others. This little experiment can help you assess your actual behavior or performance. The closer the responses are to you, it means your character is consistent to some extent. then it is okay to say you are self-aware to the degree of the outcome. How to improve your self-awareness. Get a journal or writing pad. Take a few minutes every day to put down your thoughts. Watch out for any strong emotional sessions you experience during the day, anger, excitement, and more, and write them down. Find out what the emotional triggers are, or what caused that emotional situation. Also, write down how you react to those situations. Self-management. The ability to manage your emotions is one of the best ways to regain control of your life, reduce burnouts, or feeling stuck. Self-management or regulation helps you put your feelings to positive use and therefore results in positive behaviors. Self-regulation, therefore, can result in less impulsive decisions or actions. It means better commitments and easier adaptations to situations. Once you can self-regulate, then you can take a deep breath, process your thoughts, assess the consequences of each action before taking an action. If you can approach situations as stated above, then you can easily identify and reduce the stressors in your life. Then you should have a better life outlook, even in a stressful or traumatic situation. For teams, once the team leader can self-regulate, he or she can provide positive feedback to other team members. Therefore, the team could be better organized. Thus, the leader flares up less often and takes less emotionally charged decisions. He or she also learns to work based on values and stays within control. The automatic or impulsive reaction does not allow you to properly process your thoughts and emotions before taking action. But once you can understand how your emotions work, then you can bridge the gap between reaction and adequate response. How to self-regulate. When you experience strong emotions of anger and more, do not act immediately. Tell yourself to calm down. Pause. Take a deep breath for a few seconds. Get a grip on your emotions by calling a friend, taking a walk. Do something that takes your mind off the problem. Process your thoughts. Come back to take a decision now. Motivation. You become more productive to the degree you have control over your emotions. You are also as driven or passionate towards achieving your goals as much as you can remain emotionally balanced. Leaders and self-motivated people produce consistent results in their personal and professional lives. However, your values and beliefs will play a major role as to what motivates and keeps you motivated. How to improve motivation. Reevaluate the purpose of what you are doing. Whether it is a personal or professional goal, understanding why you do what you do can help you find your sparks. If you are feeling repressed, frustrated, struggling, or feeling stuck, then try to find out what are the triggers. At some point, you might need to re-examine your goals to see if they are not obsolete or need refining. For team leaders, ask yourself why you are having issues with your team and what are the issues. Be optimistic again. Look for something exciting out of the whole mess and focus on that one thing to find the motivation to do the other less exciting tasks. Another way to look at the situation is to look for one positive side of the boggling situation. Empathy. You cannot thrive well in relationships if you cannot learn to empathize with others. Empathy is a social awareness skill that helps you relate to other people's emotional needs and wants. It helps you identify emotional cues and know how to respond. You become less self-centered and others-focused, or situation-focused. When you can empathize with others, you become an effective listener who judges or responds less on impulse. Empathy is a powerful tool for navigating within teams or within an organization. For highly emotionally intelligent people, your social awareness level will help you manage group dynamics. It will help you know how to handle or strike a balance with power and authority, whether with you or others. An emotionally intelligent person is more compassionate and committed to a relationship. Emotionally charged and empathetic leaders can understand other team members' feelings. They tend to see other people's perspectives, and thus are more effective in collaboration or communication. The result usually surfaces in a better team spirit and the feeling of being in a supportive environment. Empathy makes the leader develop, mentor, and train the team members. As such, it encourages feedback, reduces rancor, and develops a sense of belonging. A renowned leadership enterprise, DDI, states that leaders who empathize are 40% more performance-driven. Thus, they are better decision-makers, great at team building and collaborations, as well as in training. Empathy is one of the top skills a leader must adapt. You can find evidence in a study conducted by the Center for Creative Leadership, which confirms that managers who empathize tend to perform better than their superiors in relation to the subordinates. How to show, improve empathy for others. Some people are naturally warm, kind-hearted, considerate, and caring, maybe due to their temperament or innate abilities. But generally, to succeed with others, here are ways to help you become more empathetic. Be more open and accessible to others. Take time out to hear others without immediately thinking of the response you would give to the comment. Try to understand their perspective or where they are coming from. Your point of view might be right, but great teams feel a sense of belonging when their views sometimes take the upper hand over the superiors. Giving in to subordinates or others does not make your opinion less important. It actually means you are strong and not emotionally insecure or distraught. Pay close attention to a person's body language when listening or talking to someone. It helps you understand their genuine feelings. The same way, pay attention to your body language when talking or listening to someone. The way you stand, sit, or act says a lot about your real feelings than just your words. Pacing, turning your side to a person when listening could come across as you can't wait for the person to finish talking so you can leave. Facial expressions also can send the right or wrong signal, so be mindful of your emotions and how it affects your expressions. When listening to a person, you need to pay attention to the person and give him or her your full view. Learn to respond or validate a person's feelings. For example, you ask someone for a favor or to carry out a task. But once you notice their disappointment, it will help to validate their feelings. Let them understand that you understand their disappointments, and if there is anything that you could do to avert such a situation in the future. You can go a step further to compensate where possible. You will get a much better response from them for future tasks. It will also help you know exactly what their concerns are for the task. Relationship management. As humans, we are people of relationships or social interaction. Therefore, it is expedient to acquire these social skills to become more effective in your personal or professional life. Whatever your position as a team member or leader, the ability to manage social interactions is a must to become effective. Thus, relationship management is the ability to influence others positively, train, or mentor them. An emotionally intelligent person learns how to evolve and maintain a relationship with others. You understand that conflicts generate from verbal and nonverbal communication, or an understanding of a communicated message. Therefore, you strive to influence others, collaborate, and communicate effectively. Effective communication helps reduce friction or conflict in personal and corporate relationships. Remember, it is the same social skill you need to create, maintain, and grow customer relations. A Society for Human Resource Management shows that at least 72% of employees expect fair treatment and respect at work, one of the yardsticks for job satisfaction. Therefore, it means your job as a team leader will not be complete if you cannot collaborate with employees successfully. Also, successful teams must learn to master conflict resolution and not conflict avoidance. A study confirms that unresolved or unattended to conflict can remove up to 8 hours of productive working time. Emotionally intelligent people know how to use communication in advancing their goals both personally and professionally. They are people who are open to both positive and negative reports, and know how to navigate the same to still achieve their personal or corporate goals. This is one skill that helps reduce friction and increase the chance of success at getting a task accomplished with all team members feeling excited while owning the process. Steps to developing your social skill. Develop skills for conflict resolutions, because they will definitely come. Your duty is not to avoid conflict entirely, but to resolve or use them as tools to forge ahead in your personal or corporate life. Understand the composition of your social circle and define how each relation affects you. Then you also need to understand how to relate with each member of that circle. Every person has those who make up the core of their circles. Those within your circle include employer, employee, friends, family, acquaintances, neighbors, the government, and more. Do a current communication skill assessment. See more details in later chapters. Learn how to validate other people's feelings. Try to commend others about their appearance, dressing, a job well done if they have earned it. As team leaders, commending a person or team members can help inspire or motivate them for greater works. Emotional intelligence traits. We all have emotional intelligence traits, but at different levels. Some people assume that they are not emotionally intelligent to a large extent. This feeling might be due to their being introverted, shy, or timid. Others tend to see less of themselves emotionally, maybe due to a failure, getting stuck, or going through a crisis. Some more people see themselves as highly intelligent because they are sociable and daring. However, the truth is everyone has some level of emotional intelligence. Therefore, the overall idea is to up your game every time by learning, regular evaluation, and consistent self-development. Here are some scenario or traits in you that show some level of emotional intelligence. You are expressive and can share your feelings. Other people see you as empathetic and caring. You are great at problem solving. You are stern, decisive, and can set boundaries. No is no, and yes is yes. You take constructive criticism without passing the bulk or making excuses. Ability to look beyond a bad moment. Adaptable, cooperative, and a great team player under different circumstances. Self-motivated. Someone who is conscious of their actions and behaviors. Active listener. A person who easily owns up to being wrong and apologizes. Some signs or traits of low emotional intelligence. Inability to take feedback. Being judgmental, making excuses for failures or errors. Inability to take charge or lacking discretion. Inability to let go of hurts. Not being assertive. Inability to understand or explain one's emotions. Having a feeling of being misunderstood. Holding on to past failures or mistakes. Inability to maintain relationships for long. Staying confused for too long. Your emotions play a vital role in understanding yourself. They contain information, or if you like, some form of DNA coding to help you know yourself better. It is this knowledge of yourself that helps you know how to relate with yourself and others. When you feel stuck or stressed out, then you cannot perform optimally in your personal or professional life. You, over time, will feel overwhelmed and start losing control of every situation around you. However, once you have a clear understanding of how to manage your emotions and maintain a virile emotional presence, then situations will no longer throw you off balance. Then you can better deal with upsetting news and still retain your cool. Your thought process and self-control are crucial to your survival. Once you begin to rise in terms of emotional intelligence, then you would make reasonable choices with less impulsive behaviors or feelings. Your emotional responses become healthier. You can keep to commitments, take initiative, and become adaptable.